And now, to show how all of this comes together, I'm going to invite Steve Bixby, our Senior Vice President of Product Engineering, to the stage. And if Steve's willing, yeah, you can clap for Steve, that was great. If Steve's willing, I'm going to give him a bit of a mission. I am going to ask Steve, to build an agentic application using our absolute latest capabilities to solve a problem that has affected my family. Steve, this is my sister, Sarah. You can probably see the family resemblance. She's a cartoon and approximately probably 22 younger than I am. But Sarah is also just a small town girl living in a lonely world somewhere in middle America, Steve. And last week, her dream home came available in beautiful Bloomington, Indiana. And she booked, Steve, a showing and called her bank to get a mortgage pre-approval letter. She quickly sent through all of her financial documentation, but then it took 2 days, Steve, for the bank to run their processes and send Sarah her letter. And well, Steve, by the time Sarah's letter came, the house she loved had sold to someone else.
Bummer.
Imagine the disappointment.
Unbelievable.
So Steve, what I'm hoping is that maybe you can suspend your role as the Senior Vice President of Product Engineering at Pega and instead take the time to build an app for banks with an agentic workflow that shortens the mortgage pre-approval process from days to seconds, saving the banks lots of manual processing and delivering an experience that looks like this. An agentic app with a conversational interface that works nicely for people like my sister, Sarah. Steve, are you up for it?
Yeah, that sounds like a lot, to be honest. But yeah, of course, that's why we're here, right? Let's do some live software. I did happen to just, found a new company in the last week.
Wow.
It does exactly what we're looking for. I call it Lone Ranger.
That's a great name.
And yeah, we asked ourselves, what if we built an agentic application that accelerates processing and delivers an amazing customer experience for mortgage pre-approval?
This is an unbelievable coincidence.
It's like right exactly what your sister's looking for. So if we can just get some subscribers in Indiana, we'll be good to go.
We'll work on it. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, so sweet, we're on the screen. No surprise. If we were building the Lone Ranger app, we would start in Blueprint, right? Right on Launchpad.io, which is exactly what I did. Gave it a name, gave it a description, chose the company, and it outputted, a series of workflows. We're going to focus on the pre-approval workflow, obviously.
Thank you.
So let's drill into this a little bit. We're going to see a lot of the first 3 steps as I go through this because we're going to have to keep testing some of the changes we're making. So the first step is loan details, then property details, applicant details. There's an eligibility review stage that we're going to try to use. And then there's a alternate stage for denial. Not going to go too much into the rest of the blueprint other than to just let's preview this thing. Right? This is one of the most powerful things about using Launchpad.io and the blueprint capability. And that is being able to have some certainty of the outcome that you're actually going to be delivering because you can see it right away, right? So right away I'm now seeing this is what an approval workflow would look like to someone using the Lone Ranger application at a bank in the back office. This is like a power user that's going to be sitting and doing these things all day. And you can already see that it's got the pre-approval case open. There's the loan details. There's the property details, and there's the applicant details. We click submit, it resolves it. I can do this with all the other case types, and hopefully, as you know, you can see what is this going to look like to someone on a mobile device, right? And you can actually start to play around with, make changes to experience that. What if I wanted to see what would this look like to a consumer on a website using this? Right, now this is showing the provider's website as opposed to a subscriber's website, but nonetheless, this is that pre-approval flow right here on a website. All right, this is using the Launchpad web component. We're going to see some more of that in a few minutes as well. Finally, you can always preview the agentic experience. This is using the Launchpad provided agentic case processing agent, right, so that you could actually deploy something like this right on your website and say, hey, I need a pre-approval. I have a really hard time typing pre-approval. It's proved to be a weakness I can't overcome. So now it's actually running the workflow, identifying, okay, this is the pre-approval is the case type that we want. It's asking for some data, so I'm just going to say, how about 500K for 30 years and I'm going to put a lot down. I'm going to put 200K down. And what this is doing is actually using our agent to take that information, create a case, post information to the case, execute the workflow to inform the next prompt, right? And at any point, you can always peek behind the scenes and see what is this actually doing, right? And I encourage every single one of you to try this on your own if you haven't already. Just go to Launchpad.io or pega.com/blueprint, create a blueprint, look at the conversational agent, have a chat with it, give it a call. Like, try this, call the number, enter the code, you can have a chat with it, right? And I'm going to show you the next thing I want you to try as well, which is this new thing at the bottom here, which is MCP Agent. So say you don't want to use the Launchpad provided agent, but instead a subscriber already has their own agent and they're asking, hey, how do I plug in this SaaS software to my existing agent? And the answer is Model Context Protocol, right? So right from Blueprint, every one of you can create a blueprint and then come in here and see how can I plug this into an existing agent. I'm going to use Claude in this case, so I'm just going to copy the URL. I'm going to toggle over to my Claude desktop. I'm going to hit Customize, Connectors, Add, Custom Connector. I'm going to call this my Lone Ranger Blueprint, and I'm just going to paste the URL right from Blueprint. And it should, there we go, creates this thing for me. So, oops, I spelled lone wrong. We're going to live with it. All right, so.
Second company, Leon Ranger.
Leon. Okay, so I'm just going to say, type the exact same thing I typed in the Blueprint preview, right? And I'm going to say, I need a pre-approval. What this should do is identify that it has this plugin now, right? And hold on tight, create approvals, search the available tools. Did it find it? Looks like it. So hold on, let me do 500K, 30-year, 200K. And if it doesn't give me the case ID, I'm going to ask it for the case ID, just so we know that this thing is actually using that same blueprint. Yeah, there we go. It's using the plugin.
So this is amazing, Steve. Like, you know, I'm not using a Pega interface or a Pega agent. I'm now running this Pega workflow, this Pega agent in another system.
In another agentic chat, your agent of choice. I've done nothing except visit Launchpad.io and create a blueprint, right? And I'm like, wow, I can do all this crazy stuff, which I think is important to show all of the different ways that people want to interact with the software that we're building. Like, I can very confidently say SaaS is not dead. SaaS is absolutely required so that you have this capability on the back end for your agents and for you know, any of the things that people are vibe coding on the front end, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go back. One last thing I want to show in, One last thing I want to show in Blueprint is something new that if you've not seen, definitely check it out. John talked about all the things that Launchpad gets you. He's going to kill our astronaut.
Oh. Suddenly it occurred to me, he's over here screaming.
Does everyone feel less stressed now? I do. All right. Whew, thank you. Well, as I was saying. Yeah, new feature. I'm just kidding. Thank you. As I was saying, there's a new feature on the last step of Blueprint that's going to show you all the capability that makes Launchpad so much more powerful. All the things that John was just describing about, you know, making sure you've got the security and encryption capabilities, that you've got regulatory compliance, that you've got operational controls in place. All of that is here as part of the Launchpad platform and available for you to look at right here. Okay, the next step, let's just build this thing. Truth be told, I already did import this blueprint, but, whoops, that's not what I want. But if you haven't brought a blueprint into Launchpad recently, it's massively improved. It literally takes a few seconds It's just like bam, bam, which is pretty awesome. The way you do it is you just click New Application, choose your blueprint from the list, and you're off and running. That's exactly what we did here. So now I have this Lone Ranger application. Something different about Launchpad Studio here. We've got a very prominent AI assistant. We were wondering if it was going to say good afternoon, John.
Look at that. The AI even knows that we're in Las Vegas, and it is now afternoon.
Yeah, this morning we noticed that it said good morning. We're like, does it always say that, or is that? Anyway, I'm going to use this to refine this application, and I'm not even going to, or I'm going to try not to use any of the navigation on the left. I'm not going to look at any rules. I'm not even going to go to the case designer. Like, let's just see if we can use the AI assistant to enhance the workflow. We're going to run a couple scenarios. But before we do that, let's preview the application just so we can see it running for real. It should look just like our blueprint. Maybe. TikTok. All right. When doing agentic demos, not that this part is agentic, but you have to find ways to kill time as things are running in the background. So you're going to see me doing a lot of dancing in a few minutes. All right, so if we create a new pre-approval, yeah, we get the information about the loan, we see the information about the property, and then we see the information about the applicant, right? And actually, I'm going to go back. Let me do another one, because I want to have the data populated for when we come back through here, sorry. So I'm going to fill the form with AI. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Next. Fill the form with AI. Next. And right now, we haven't done anything. I'm just setting this up so we can come back to this case in a minute. All right. So we've got the pre-approval. Looks like it's gone all the way through. It said, yep, you're pre-approved. You can see the requested loan amount here, over here. We call this the summary panel on the left. You can see the down payment. But I'm thinking it would be nice, maybe I should have done this in Blueprint, but it would be nice if we could see the down payment percentage on the left. Like, that seems like a summary field that someone would definitely want to know about with a loan pre-approval. So let's take that fairly simple UI change, a little bit of a calculation that has to take place. So let's try that. All right, so I'm going to, drum roll, add the calculated down payment percentage to the summary panel. All right, here we go. Now, I've run this enough times to know that it is a little bit non-deterministic, and there are times where it gets off track, but usually I can recognize when it is.
Yeah, I mean, the great part is while it's building, if you see anything on there that's going a little bit scooters, you can always grab that and redirect. Like, versus having something that goes off and just generates a whole application for you, and then you get scooters.
Awesome. So it found a skill. It's off and running. I'm fairly confident this is going to do what it's supposed to do. So while this is going, iterating, trying to figure this all out, good news, John. We got our first subscriber.
Oh my gosh, I knew there was demand for this.
Just got a notification. So I'm going to bop over to the subscriber portal. And you can see I've already got my test subscriber in here, but I'm going to add the new subscriber. Good news also, they're in Indiana.
No way.
So that could help your sister,
That's
right?
great for
Indiana Loans is what we're calling it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And yeah, we'll give them an ID. We're going to say their representative or contact is Henry Jones. And that's, hj@email.com. Just to show how easy it is to create a subscriber. So now we've got Indiana Loans set up. And this is sort of ongoing as it's provisioning the resources. This takes a few seconds, and then that will be done. So that was a stall, just to show you that we have subscriber capability, and we're going to push changes here. Let's go back and see if it's done. It is still going. Okay.
Now, as it's taking its time, Steve, like we're seeing it's doing all of this work, just give us a sense for if it was a person who was doing this work, how long would that take versus how long this is turning around?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And in this case, I think a person probably could have pulled this off in about the same amount of time, right? This is a fairly simple change. It created a decision rule. It did a simple calculation to determine the percentage. It created a calculated field and then put it on the view, which is the summary panel. Like, so if you know what you're doing, this is a piece of cake, I think.
With my LSA training?
Yeah. If you know what you're doing, exactly. But if you don't, this is brilliant. right? This is amazing. And actually, we've started to see that even the people that know what they're doing, like my team that knows this stuff cold, is starting to use this because it's just easier, right? And you can do other stuff while it's happening. I'm sure any of you that have been using AI to write code, which we do a lot of at Pega, you have a lot of time to do other things while things are running, right? And so that's another benefit that you get. We're going to do some slightly more sophisticated scenarios in a second. But let's test this one. Let's just launch the preview again and just see if that percentage calculation actually is showing on the summary panel on the left. Here we go.
So this is running the math. We're just going back. This is pulling in the percent down and putting that on the left-hand panel.
Yes,
where
exactly.
it was not before.
Exactly. Another plug here. If you haven't seen, Blueprint imports now create landing pages for every one of your case types with reports that you can define in Blueprint. All right, so that's another really great new capability in Blueprint as well, and this is what it looks like. I'm going to open this last one that we just did, and there we go. I did this 4 minutes ago, but now I also see the down payment percentage on the left, so this thing worked.
That's great.
Very exciting. Thank you, thank you.
I'll clap for you.
Woo. Okay, all right, so let's keep going. Let's go back. Let's use that same field now to actually determine eligibility. Like, we need some kind of eligibility check here. We're not just going to let anybody get pre-approved. So I'm going to add this simple rule. Let's turn this on. Now, if this down payment percentage is under 10%, let's make sure the pre-approval goes to a manual human approval. All right. So this is going to hopefully go ahead and add a business rule, inject it into the workflow, maybe tell it to switch stages. There are a couple different ways this could go. Teddy's telling me this is going to work. That's great. Thank you. All right. While this is going, let's go take a look at what Indiana Loans has been up to now that they're a subscriber and they have the first version of this application. So your sister wanted to see an experience right from her mobile while she's looking at a house where she can have an agentic chat experience. So we built this, we vibe coded this Indiana Loans website, but it has Launchpad on the back end, right? So that we have deterministic experience and all the security we need, all the compliance considerations. And right there, I've got this agent. Now, this is an agent that Indiana Loans built, right? This is not the Launchpad agent. This is their custom chatbot on their website.
So this is like what we saw with Claude prior.
Exactly. So we're going to say, same thing we've been saying all along, I need a pre-approval.
Look at how hard Sarah is working to get this pre-approval.
All right. So hopefully, this is going to hit that same workflow and ask for those same initial set of fields about the loan. And then I'm going to tell it, oh boy, come on. Oh, woohoo. Okay, so loan amount, down payment, term, same thing. So I'm going to do the 500K, 30-year, and I think we know what's going to happen now because we've seen this 3 times now. We saw it twice in Blueprint, and now we're seeing it for real on a subscriber's website using the capability from the Lone Ranger provider. And there we go, and now it's on to the next step, and I can continue to provide this information and walk through the workflow. Cool, okay, let's go back, see how we're doing. Why can't I go back? There we go. It looks like it did it. It did. Decision rule, it created an approval notes field, updated approval view, modified process. So it looks like it worked. Let's check it out. Preview. And actually, while that preview's loading, I want to go back and just, let's release some of these changes. Let's see, view the contents, we're going to commit all this stuff. Okay. And then we'll go release this thing. And, okay. So back to the preview. Where's the preview?
So what you just did there, you took the work that you had just done, merged that into a branch that's now back into the main branch, and then you've released that and made that available.
Yeah, so because I want to show it in the Indiana Loans website. Right, so here we are in the provider preview app. Let's do our pre-approval. I'm trying to remember what we're doing here. We're doing a loan amount that has a down payment that's less than 10% so that we have to go to an eligibility review. That's the test we have to do. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do 500K, but I'm only going to put 20K down. I'm going to click submit. I'm going to click submit again. And let's see. Awesome. Okay, so it kicked us to an eligibility review stage. And now it's presenting this information. There's the approval notes that we saw that it created. And I'm just going to say, no, I'm going to reject this. And now we have that option. And if I go through again really quickly and do 500K with 200K down.
200,000. Steve's going to be at the high rollers table
Oh,
tonight.
like big time. That's actually where I got that down payment. And this should, yeah, good. So it goes all the way through. Awesome. So the first two vibe changes that we made, or AI-assisted changes we made, worked, but I want to do something a little more interesting now. Something that you wouldn't just sit down, make the changes yourself, save, test, and go, because it's just a little more sophisticated. So this one, wouldn't it be cool if, because we're going to need your W-2 anyway, in this loan process, if we added a field to upload a W-2 and then used AI to extract the information that's necessary for the rest of the pre-approval right from the W-2 form, right? Seems very logical, feels like a good outcome.
Right?
How do you do that? Like, I don't know. I think some people would do it one way, others might do it a different way. Let's just ask the AI to do it for us. Now, a little bit of AI hygiene here. I'm not going to use the same conversation. I could, but this is a different topic, right? And this is something that we talk about all the time internally. It's a different topic. Don't just clutter your context window with all this other stuff. So just a little hygiene. I'm just going to create a new thing, and I'm going to say, let's try to extract some data from the W-2 document rather than making the user enter it manually. Let's add the W-2 field on the first step of pre-approval, then use Gen AI to extract the applicant name, employer name, and annual salary. Gen AI, always, 100% of the time. Sometimes it just says Jenny.
That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff in there, Steve.
We just asked it to do a lot of stuff, but that's what we want. That's the outcome we want. It seems like a very obvious outcome that seemed just a couple years ago like something that was so difficult. Oh, I need an OCR, I need to do some integration with this. Like, it seems like a big deal. I don't think this is a big deal. We'll see if this works. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this thing is sort of on the right track here. Let's see.
So what we've seen, Steve, just to like I recap some of this stuff, like you've done the AI in design time to build the capability to see what the pre-approval amount is, and now we've created another capability that's actually using the agent to determine whether the pre-approval, like the down payment, is enough to warrant an automatic pre-approval, to warrant a pre-approval, automatically, or if it's not automatically pre-approved, to escalate that to a human being.
Yep. And now we've got this thing cooking.
And now we're pulling in the W-2 so that we can actually just pull the data directly from the W-2 to be able to drive that process.
Yep. Cool. So while that's going, let's go take a look at what's going on the Indiana Loans website. We already saw the agentic chat, but I want to see what does that consumer Launchpad web component experience look like we saw in the preview in Blueprint, right? So we've, like I said, we vibe coded this website, built this loan calculator, right, where I can change my down payment amount, and I can see the percentage changing over there on the right. Let's go less than 10%. I wish I could change the interest rate. That'd be pretty cool. 0. And now when I click claim this treasure, the Pega, or Launchpad web component, is pulling the information from that little widget and populating it into the workflow, right? So it just pulled the loan amount, the down payment, as well as the term, and now we're running the workflow using Pega-generated UI, themed to match the Indiana Loans website, all right? And so as we step through this now, let's get to the end. Expedition funded, I did not expect that because that rule should have been in place. I'm gonna try it one more time. Let's go 2% down. I'll try it one more time.
Was it the math?
There's a little error there. Ignore that. Pending. Okay, that's what I expected. So it says your expedition is staged and ready. We're completing an eligibility review, which is that step that we put in. Watch your inbox for the green light. So that's interesting. If we then jack up this down payment to get it over 10%, I expect that we'll see the opposite, and this thing should be approved. Expedition funded, great. Okay, so
So that's great. Going back to Agentic, end-to-end automated processing by the agent when it's being driven by workflow governance, and deterministic logic. So it came through and said, this looks good, I'm going to pre-approve that. Then we got into the prior example was the Agentic with human in the loop, where again, it was looking at it from a deterministic logic perspective and saying, oop, that doesn't meet the criteria that we need to have, and that passes that on to the human being. But the workflow and the AI and the agent is doing, we talked about the heavy lifting, and then pushing that over for judgment, decision-making, the trust capability back over to the human being.
very cool. All right, thanks for stalling while I push those changes.
I like to dance.
It looks like it did work. Summary of changes. GenAI-powered W2 data extraction with 5 rule changes, GenAI Connect, JSON data transform, a view and automation, and let's preview this, see how it works. Here we go. Last one.
That's great.
Thank you for your patience.
A question as you go through that, Steve. Like I see that Indiana Loans has some pretty hee-haw language, in the agent and in the conversation that it's having. Like, because this is built on Launchpad and is coming through Lone Ranger, does every bank have to have hee-haw language, or can I be a real-life bank with real-life customer conversations?
Good question. I think that's one of the real benefits of having the MCP-enabled workflows, is that you can build the agent of choice, it can have the personality you want, and that's what Indiana Loans has done. If we had another bank that uses the same Lone Ranger application but didn't want to have, they had some other personality, they wanted to have some real serious tone, they would build an agent that could do that. So you have lots of choices. We had a lot of fun with the AI, just making a hee-haw, like you said. So here we are. I'm previewing this. The W2 field does show up. That's awesome.
Drinks are ready.
I'm going to pull this sample W2, upload it, and you can see this is an example for Susan Quintana from Albuquerque. She works at Westway Books and made 16.5. And now what I expect is on the last step where it asks for the applicant information, I expect that those fields will be populated. So there, I can already see them. There they are. Awesome. So Susan, Westway Books, and that's her annual salary. So this thing worked. So this was a much more sophisticated scenario. It took about the same amount of time, it looked like.
How long do you think that would have taken if I was a human being doing that particular exercise?
Again, if you knew every step of the way and you'd planned it out, I think probably 10 minutes, 20 minutes, if you knew exactly what you're doing. Realistically, I think this is the kind of thing that people take days to do. Right? I mean, how many times have we asked, can you just only upload a W-2? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then a week goes by and you're like, you done yet? Another cool thing about this is that you can ask it. You don't have to have it building stuff for you. You can use it as a way to make a plan, right? So you can have a conversation with it in the same way that you would with any vibe coding tool. Say, let's talk about this first before we go ahead and build it. For the sake of time, I'm just like build, because I want you guys to see a result. But that is a great feature of this as well. All right, what was I going to show? All right, so let's go finally show the website, and then there's one last feature I want to show before I turn it back to you, John. So let's go back to the base camp. And we want to show the W2. Thank you. Should be here. Boom. All right, W2 is here. So now all those changes that we made have been pushed, released, and are now available to subscribers so that we now can see all of this, this exciting stuff happening here. And you'll see in a second, like, it was really fun building this website and integrating this stuff in. We want you guys to play with it. We're going to put a QR code up in a second so you can just have at it. Try to break the agent, do whatever you want. Definitely give your feedback. It's in your best interest.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
The initial part of the presentation, I think, is equally applicable to Launchpad as well as Pega Infinity, the features of the blueprint. However, the last part of vibe coding, if I'm not wrong, that is specifically applicable to Launchpad and not yet to Pega Infinity.
Well, you're going to have to show up tomorrow and find out. Yeah.
What is the vibe coding that Steve just showed, the AI-assisted development, is that only on Launchpad? As of this second, you would only know about this on Launchpad.
Yes. But yeah, you will see tomorrow, like, and you'll see on the Innovation Hub floor, lots of cool stuff happening with AI Assistant in Pega Infinity. You're not going to see Launchpad stuff outside of this session, but we're going to be here all day, all afternoon,
Yep.
if you guys want to talk more about this.
Features that we saw, that we understand correctly now, that is also applicable, possible in Pega Infinity.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. This is not a Pega Infinity session. The whole rest of the week is. Okay. Last thing I want to show you guys is, oh my God, is another cool feature that you're actually going to see a lot of in Pega Infinity. I think you'll see this in Karim's keynote tomorrow as well. It is the ability to change the UI from the end user experience. And just bear with me for a second. I have to make this work, I have to blow away the cookies. Let's see. So we call this the UI designer, and it's going to be available to you right from the Launchpad preview. If the Launchpad preview loads. Oh, come on. One more time. It's not going to work. Anyway, you can imagine this very white screen. I have a video of it that I could show, but I think it's better, just take my word for this. Karim's going to show some of this tomorrow in his keynote with Pega Infinity. That same capability is coming to Launchpad, right? And you can do things like change the navigation of your portal. You can change the theme right from here, go to dark mode, go to any other theme, and it changes right in front of you in real time. You can change the layout of the case forms as well. And what you'll see tomorrow is the ability to actually basically do what Live UI did for you in Pega's traditional UI, where you can just swing your mouse over the screen and just start making changes. So some really exciting stuff coming. Thank you. That was fun. We built it. I thank you for your patience. It is hard to know that this is actually on the right track when it's sort of non-deterministic like that.
And we'll share with you guys that these things, the MCP capability, and Steve will talk about it a little more in a moment, the AI-assisted development, the MCP capability, is real tech, what we're showing there. It is still early stage. So we are rolling this out as we walk away from PegaWorld to early adopters. If you are interested in trying out and playing with and participating with us in the AI assistant and the MCP capabilities, as Steve said, we're in the room for the next 3 days. There's an opportunity to talk to us about, hey, I want to be an early adopter and try that and play with you guys. And then we'll make that available to all very shortly.
Cool. So I think if we go back to the PowerPoint. Yeah, so as I mentioned, if you want to play with this little website where you can do the web embed or the agentic chat, go ahead and do that. John's going to show it again in a second if you miss it. If we go to the next one. So this is what we showed essentially in this demo is the AI assisted development, which is critical and frankly I think table stakes at this point in order to remain relevant in 2026. Right, I think this is where everything's going. I think we have a potential leg up here because we're not generating code, right? No matter what, When you end up with code, you have a hard-coded set of logic that you then have to go revisit, rework, and maintain. When you have a model-driven, no-code experience, you're capturing the intent and the outcome that you want, and we are providing the code, right? And it's not going to be non-deterministic. It's going to be accessible. It's going to be secure. It's going to have all the things that we promise that would be otherwise very difficult to maintain over time in a vibe-coded experience. Just like we all know, many of us have had to maintain code-based applications for years and years and years. It's not easy. And while there's some awesome technology out there that we're using internally for sure to write code, I think this is a better approach. The UI designer, again, you're going to have to take a peek at Krim's keynote, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that we've been working on over the last 6 months for Launchpad as well. A lot of these ideas and enhancements came from real use by providers, so thank you for your feedback. It's been great getting to continue to grow the business a little bit, get more and more providers with more subscribers, so that we can really drive the roadmap based on your experience.
Well, thanks so much, Steve. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
With AI-assisted development, you created, Steve, an agentic app that massively reduces processing time for banks and delivers a great experience for people like my sister, Sarah. Just imagine how happy Sarah was when that house came back on the market and she secured it, funded through Indiana loans. Truly a spectacular outcome. So there's one last thing that I want to make sure we call out, that if you're building for outcomes, there's something else that changes too, and that's your economics. Because if work becomes the product, outcomes become the measure of value. For Launchpad, the currency of outcomes as a service is Launchpad units, little bits of work, reads and writes of data that are used in the production of outcomes. If your outcome is process loan pre-approvals, we make it easy to see how many Launchpad units it costs to deliver loan pre-approvals. Know your costs, set your price for your outcomes. Different amounts of work drive different levels of consumption, which enable different economics. More steps, stages, data passed around equals more Launchpad units. Less equals less. Based on this, you might price outcomes differently across customers or use cases dependent on the amount of work that's required to deliver their outcome. And now your business model aligns directly with value creation. You can price by outcomes, you can scale by outcomes, you can optimize your margin by outcomes, and that is a fundamentally different way of thinking about software. So I'm going to start wrapping us up here by saying the next generation of technology companies won't simply sell software. Outcomes will be their product. The winners won't be companies who generate the most features. They'll be the companies that deliver outcomes the most effectively. This is the change. For years, software helped people do work. Now, software is beginning to do the work itself. And that presents a whole new opportunity for everyone in this room, because what people want is outcomes. Outcomes are what Launchpad is built to deliver. And today, we're here to help you move from idea to workflow, to deployed agentic application, to customer-delivered outcomes in ways that you could never achieve before.